In the eulogy I wrote for Val's funeral, I said that because of her many illnesses, she had lived with the idea of death for a long time. She had booked me to write the eulogy many years before I hosted the Desert Island Films Evening at C&G in 2011. It was then that she spoke about her life and the many things she had been involved in.
I was a child of the war, being born shortly before World War II started. I remember those dark nights in the air raid shelters. I lived in fear of the sirens and the dreadful noises of war, the bombs, the gunfire as Manchester was pounded with all that the Luftwaffe could throw at us.
You actually lived as a girl in the house you live in now?
Yes. Yes, I was brought up there and then went to live in Chorlton, and then when my mum needed help I went back and lived in the house.
Yeah. And you went to school locally?
I went, yes, I did. I went to Stretford High School for Girls.
Were you a
after
good pupil?
King's Road.
Were you a good pupil, would you say?
Absolutely excellent. Well behaved.
Are you sure?
Neat and tidy.
Are you sure?
Yes, quite sure.
Well, I have a copy of a school report here. From 1952 when you were 14. And it says, Valerie is a very helpful member of the form. She is capable of being quiet and sensible, and should not be ashamed of showing these qualities. Ouch.
That was even better.
So you didn't always show the best side at school, Val?
No, not really. Yes.
And yet you became a teacher.
Yeah. And went back to the same school where that I'd actually been at. I suppose really this room is the one that I've spent the most time in this building. Having had the few years as a pupil myself, sitting over there and working along with my friends. I can remember in one of my first chemistry lessons, Miss Goodyear stood here and was teaching us all about the inert gases. And just in the summing up at the end, she said, now make sure you've got all those down. And she said, you want radon, neon, krypton, and so on. And so I thought so on was an inert gas and I wrote it down.
Val was proud of her name, spelt without the central E. Plainly, in many ways, she liked to be a little bit different from the rest of us. At primary school, she'd played Toad in a production of Toad Hall, and she brought the house down, surprising even her parents. In everything she did in great depth and went into thoroughly, so that when she came to do filmmaking, she went into that in great depth too. She went on many film and computer courses, mopping up information, but not afraid to tackle technicalities.
Hello. What you've just seen are the titles of some animated films made by amateurs over the last few years. Animation's a marvellous hobby, and it's growing in popularity all the time.
Well, I mean, I make a holiday film every year.
I see.
But I think I'm more often asked for animation because not so many people do it.
You're not too embarrassed to show your holiday film, then?
Oh, no.
Oh, I see.
You mean to say you've never seen my 25-minute one that's longer than the Shropshire Union Canal?
It is early morning as we start off on a journey that will take us 2 weeks to return to our home moorings at Lymm. It is August and the canal here at Nozzle looks its best to travellers plying the Shropshire Union for pleasure. Here, less than 15 miles from Wolverhampton, there is no town to spoil our journey.
not many lady filmmakers in this country. I'm just interested to know why you hit upon cine as a hobby.
Well, my sister got married, and a friend who was very hard up had bought one of these cine kits for about £50, and it made me realise that, you know, poor people like me could afford cine. And when I saw my sister's wedding film, I just thought, well, I'll have to have a go at this myself.
I see.
And that's how I got into it, not through teaching.
Not through teaching at all, no, I see. And then did that lead you then into Humphrey Park? Did you find out about Humphrey Park afterwards, or...?
No, the next thing that happened was I got sent on a filmmaking course because there were some spaces for a teacher's filmmaking course, and because the boss knew I'd bought a cine camera, she sent me on this, and that was where I started animation. At that point I went to night school and found out about Chorlton Cine Club, but they had a waiting list because they had 70 members, so I looked around for another club, and that's when I found Urmston Cine Club, and the night I joined they became Humphrey Park.
Oh, I see, so it originally was Urmston.
Yeah,
Was it?
but I would have joined Chorlton if they hadn't had
Yeah.
a waiting list.
I don't think many cine clubs have got waiting lists today, actually.
I wouldn't have
with the
thought so.
decline in filmmaking.
No.
But although you're a member of Humphrey Park, I know you have been chairman at one time, at least on one occasion. Your own films are under the name of Cavalier, and where does the Cavalier come from? What's the connection there?
Well, I think when I started making films seriously, I was interested in the Cavalier period of history. And Celia was as well, and we worked together under that title instead of under my name. And in fact, it's a near anagram of Celia and Valerie.
Oh, really? I never thought of that.
Well,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
that's how it works.
Val, yes, you're right, actually. Oh.
And because my name's not spelt the standard way.
No,
it
it's
was
Valerie, isn't
Valerie,
it?
yes.
Which again is unusual. You don't
Yes.
see many like
Yeah.
that. No, true. And I know recently you've bought a video camera. You're doing some video photography as well. Does that mean a move away from cine, or are you doing them both?
Well, I think I'll always do them both because animation is very much to do with film. And because I'm in a cine club, you've got to put a film in each year for a competition. And I never miss a Humphrey Park competition because I think that's part of being a member. So I think I'll always make films, but
Yeah.
the video is so much more fun.
Mm.
And especially as a group activity because you can have a monitor and everybody can see what you're doing and
And you
cool
can play
ideas.
around with it and
Yes.
correct your bad
And you
results.
can do 26,000 takes,
Yeah.
and at school it's super because you can cut out all the four-letter words that the kids use by mistake, you know. And
Yeah. Good looking, your rostrum here, you're in the middle of doing a film at the moment, I think. Can I
Yeah.
just have a look at some of your stills?
yeah, well,
Oh.
this is a film I'm doing on Escher where I'm bringing his pictures to life, and that's one of his famous pictures.
And when do you think that'll be ready?
Well, I finished it, but I didn't like it, so I'm starting again. You know, it's a good idea to just throw it away and start all over again, isn't it?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm very sorry about that. Extremely sorry.
Nothing's impossible I have found. When my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip. Be grateful for a pleasant trip and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. Work like falling fire till the battle of the day is won. You may be sick and tired, but you'll be a man by side. Will you remember the famous men who had to fall to rise again? So take a deep breath, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again. I'll get some self-assurance if your endurance is great. I'll learn by easy stages if you're courageous and wait. To feel the strength I want to, I must hang on to your hand. Maybe by the time I'm 15, I'll get up and do a lifting. All right, I'll show you again. Now remember, 3 steps to the left, 3 steps to the right. Right, and right. All right. 1, 2, 3. I know, I'm sorry. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again.
Well, you've got to take your hat off to a performance like that. Without more ado, we'll have Val's film, The DLR.
I'm London's latest fun ride, and I start not far from here. Walk on down to the River Thames and stop at Tower Pier. Enjoy the tower and the bridge, how grand and old they are, but walk on past this history and you'll find the DLR. Just look for Tower Gateway way up on Tower Hill, and ride my moving staircase if you've an hour to kill. My ticket sales are mechanised for journeys near or far. There is no fuss or queuing when you ride the DLR. The enterprise zone is growing fast, with works of every type. The small, the large, the newly formed. New tech, new goods, new hype. People too will move in here, where once was mast and spar, and I'll be pleased to carry them, 'cause I'm the DLR.
Docklands Light Railway was opened by Her Majesty the Queen on July the 30th, 1987, and its train started running in August. The DLR has already established itself as a vital link in London's complex transport system.
So won't you ride my moving staircase beneath my plastic dome, and use me for your journey wherever you may roam? For though the fog is thickening, your journey it will not mar, for I'm computer driven and I'm the DLR.
She was a very good artist and studied the history of art. She went on many painting courses and became a friend of the Royal Academy. She had researched her family history in libraries and cemeteries and documented it right back to the 1600s. She had read all the works of Shakespeare, probably one of her least known attributes. She wore all this knowledge and experience lightly, never throwing it in your face. But you always knew there was a rich and deep hinterland to vow, as they say.
Changing daylight, the effects of weather on the countryside and seasonal variations so fascinated this man that in the 1890s he embarked on a series of paintings which totally amazed the art world. Claude Monet produced several series of paintings showing all the colour and lighting effects that meant so much to him. He drew his subjects richly from the French countryside, often using local views, as in the poplar series. These trees were on the banks of the River Epte, about a mile from his home in Giverny. The poplars were usually grown to about 30 feet before harvesting for use on the farms. Monet was part way through the series when harvest time approached, and he tried to negotiate a stay in the cutting of the trees in order to finish the set. However, the mayor turned the request down. Eventually, Monet had to buy the trees in partnership with a local woodsman, and so was able to complete the series of 24 paintings, which were exhibited in 1892. His love of the land encouraged him to paint the series known as the Grain Stacks, which were first exhibited in 1891. There are 25 canvases in all, of which 12 were set in winter. It was a good thing that the stacks were literally on his doorstep, as he worked on several canvases at once to catch the very transient lighting conditions. When the light changed, he would call to his stepdaughter to run back to the house for different canvases, often several times a day. "Another! Another!" he would cry, until the poor girl was worn out running between field and house. Some pictures had a single haystack, others two. During Monet's long career, the River Seine was his constant touchstone. He lived near to its banks all his life, and painted it more frequently than any other subject. As a result, no other river is more associated with Impressionist painting. The pictures breathe life into the trees through gradually clearing veils of mist. In contrast to dawn breaking on the river, the oat fields fade from noonday sun to early evening, and the overall atmospheric effects of the poppy fields gives a decorative, tapestry-like quality to the paintings. In these pictures Monet recaptured the sheer beauty of Giverny, rooted in its agrarian character.
Some of you may have seen this picture. Is that your class, Val?
It was A class, not mine.
Well, A class. And Miss Ellis is there. That's you there,
That's
yes?
me there. I was 22.
And what's the story behind that picture?
Now, the story behind that picture, my father worked in the rag trade, and he used to pick up fence and material and stuff, and I could take something and make a dress from it, you see. So I was a very new teacher, and I made this dress in this wonderful material in black, and the next week I went to the first NUT meeting with all these old head teachers and everything there. And I was wearing the same as the curtains and the soft furnishings. Because my dad hadn't told me it was furnishings material. So it was very embarrassing. Story of my life, really, I think.
We've all been looking for you amongst the girls.
Yeah, I mean,
Never
yes.
expected you
That
to be
was me there, yeah, that's right.
If it was good enough for Scarlett O'Hara, it was good enough for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Were you a pleasant teacher or were you a toughie?
Oh.
I was fine. I just quietly strangled them.
Did you?
No, if
I can imagine you being quite tough
I was
as a
fourth
teacher.
year tutor. No, you didn't need to be with science because you had all these experiments. They loved doing them. When they cleared up, if they cleared up quickly, they had a joke telling session until the bell went. As long as they were clean jokes, I had to tell them.
It says here
But
that you're
I was fourth year
you're in a
tutor.
white science overall.
Oh yes, that's
and the
right.
kids thought you were a dinner lady.
Dinner lady, yes, they did. Or the nurse. They used to come and say, I've got knits, miss. And they have some shampoo. Yeah,
Health
Yes,
education, you did.
I did.
Yeah. Lots of showing off with experiments with sodium and potassium.
Yes, chucking them on water, igniting hydrogen and
Yeah.
all. Yeah, we did. We had a lovely time. The best thing we ever did, though, we used to set these gas bubbles going up to the ceiling and then light them. That was exciting. Can't do it now, you know.
No, you can't do a lot of it now.
Can't do a
I
lot
bet.
of it now.
No, no.
Health and
Health
safety
and
kills
safety, yeah.
kills science. Yeah. Yeah.
So, your sister Audrey.
My sister Audrey is my best friend Audrey as well. And
She your older sister
She
or
was
younger
the bigger
sister?
one in all
Oh,
those
all right.
pictures.
Right.
There's 18 months between us, and she was the youngest deputy head teacher in Lancashire for many years.
All right.
Deputy head, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's a remarkable person.
And you never made it to deputy head, Val?
No, I was head of science and fourth year tutor, which was quite interesting, because I had to deal with all the troublesome 15-year-olds. Other schools, you see, used to chuck the kids out if they didn't behave, like the grammar schools. And I'm afraid the Roman Catholic schools did. They used to just get rid of them. And they all came to us.
Really? You got the dregs?
No, we didn't. We got some very rebellious, charming children.
Yeah.
But if they didn't behave in class, they came to me.
So you had to work with them
And
creatively
they
to try, and that's
spent
why you
a
did a lot.
fortnight with me until we got them
Yeah.
back into behaving properly.
Really?
Yes. So I could work on you and get you quite yes, and get you really quite nicely behaved in
Really?
a fortnight.
hope I've given up.
In a fortnight?
Oh, in a fortnight, yeah.
God, I think we better watch the film. I'm frightened to death. So this film is called The Artists of
Yes.
St Ives.
And it's not just about Audrey. We also have this friend who used to lecture, well, he was an art lecturer at Sheffield University, Paul Curtis, and we've done a lot of work with him. And he doesn't mind that I can't draw like Audrey does, and we have lovely holidays with him, painting all the time. So there you go,
There you go, The Artists of St
St.
Ives.
Ives, yes. Why do my sister, brother-in-law and I want to return here every year? Is it because of the quaint streets, the brilliant light, the seashore, the lively evenings in the bistros? Or is it the art galleries and the general atmosphere? Well, maybe, but the main reason is we can't resist following in the footsteps of those who come to paint. We don't count ourselves as artists, and we don't starve in a garret either, but there is a sort of magic about this place. It may well be the flat overlooking Porthmere beach. It may be our tutor Paul Curtis, or just the feeling of freedom that life in St Ives offers, which act as a magnet. And so here we are again, ready to face the challenge of brush and paint in one of the loveliest areas of Cornwall. It's very nice in here, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, yes. I do like the decor. Very pretty.
And the Barbara Hepworth out the window.
Oh, yeah. Did you see it lit up last night?
Yes. What could be better than a comfortable pad with a view like this, with time to talk and live out our passion for art? What's the plans today, boys?
What's the plans today? Well, I mean, personally, I love these rocks with all this seaweed on. I think I'm going to, at different times, I'm going to drag out to that big rock there with some paper and see if I can find a way of drawing it. I've always avoided them in the past, so I think maybe we're going to have to work out.
Right, here we go. Come on, let's get down the beach and have a look at the sea first.
Right. Oh, I've written my cards, I'm going to post these.
Who's the artist we were talking about who had the room at the Tate actually set up for it?
Rothko.
It's a Rothko.
It's an absolute perfect Rothko.
But it's also, I mean, it's also Matisse, isn't it? Where you get as close to abstraction as you possibly can without actually being abstract. With all this sort of setup here.
Somehow it's actually a Dodson, doesn't quite ring the same, does it?
Give it time. The way he's going with his drawings at the moment, he could be there.
You can be my agent if you wish.
Here is Sister Audrey, hard at work, always better at painting than I am, and always the first to get organised. This is Paul Curtis, our tutor, who has suffered us for many years, but never gives up on us. Oh, it's got a lovely colour on it now, hasn't it? That's amazing. Colours are gorgeous, aren't they? And Stuart, my long-suffering brother-in-law, a still photographer who has decided to give art a go. Very good. When the sun gets too hot, it is so easy to chill out on the balcony with a crisp, dry Chardonnay and draw the incoming tide. If the inks don't quite match up with the colours of the waves, then we change the waves. In fact, you don't need to move too far from here to get different viewpoints and lots of different pictures. Meanwhile, down on the beach, Helen, who is always adventurous, uses local materials to create her impressions of the waves. Jane prefers to draw in pencil, and Audrey attacks the fisherman's chapel on the headland. She is soon surrounded by local children, but this doesn't cramp her style.
I think it's too hot for me, so I think I might go to the Tate this afternoon.
The Tate Gallery of St Ives is 2 blocks down the beach from our flat and built on the side of the old gasworks. No comment. It is designed to represent the narrow streets and alleyways of the town, with its narrow white passages and stairs. The rounded front of the building gives a panoramic view of the beach and headland, and has representative works of art of local painters and potters. Awesome, isn't it?
I was just looking at the colours in the water down there. I could paint those.
Yes, they're lovely, aren't they? The cafe at the top of the building looks over Porthmere Beach and the harbour.
A stone's throw from the Tate there is a small house where you feel you are being watched. This was the home and studio of sculptress Barbara Hepworth. She lived here until her death. She died tragically in a house fire after smoking in bed. Her house is now restored and is part of the Tate St Ives. Her works are on show in the house, and her studios, which were not attacked by the fire, are just as she left them. You almost feel as though she has just popped out to get some shopping. This is the little summer house where she slept on hot summer nights. The gardens have been kept much as she left them and set off her sculptures beautifully. I filmed these in the pouring rain, and this gave the works a lovely shine and denser colours. Just down the road in Back Street West is the tiny house where Alfred Wallace, artist and mariner, lived. He put his paintings out to dry in the sun and was spotted by artist Ben Nicholson, who admired them for their primitive charm. When Alfred died, he was buried in the churchyard in view of the sea. Bernard Leach made the tiles which cover the grave, and these made it a much visited part of the churchyard. Alfred lies there in view of the sea, which gave him the inspiration for his wonderful paintings of the boats that he loved to watch and paint. There is so much to do and see in St Ives. Galleries galore, interesting shops, and people to watch as they enjoy the sea and shore. And there is that lovely time when the visitors have gone home, and on the beach an old lady has a paddle in the setting sun. Who cares if you can paint or not? It's just great to be there.
Good morning. I believe you've come to this workshop this morning.
Yes, I'm trying to find out what is the difference between an apple and a PC for video editing.
Well, you can eat an apple, but you can't eat a PC.
Well, that's a very good answer. Now I've found that out, I think I'll get a PC in future.
Today this could be the greatest day of our lives.
Val, with her global view of things, joined the IAC National Council and became its first lady chairman and first lady president. She took great interest in Unica, the filmmakers' international organisation, and she went to many festivals around the world. She always gave a filmmaker the benefit of the doubt, especially the young. There is hardly a club in the UK that did not know of Val Ellis.
I've been involved in group filmmaking for some years, and I found it can be quite hazardous. Sometimes personalities clash and tempers get frayed. But it can be great fun. If the group dynamic is strong, then the films will often be more successful and it's a much more enjoyable experience. We made the film where Alan played God, Garth did the graphic effects, William did the lighting and some of the other properties. And I sort of ran about looking after Alan and making sure his acting was right, and in general just stopped World War III developing.
What have you done to the earth? What have you done? Enough. Start again.
She had become a guru to many film clubs with her cine animations, using simple strips of sellotape and polarizing filters to produce magic. Sometimes serious, sometimes not, but always magic.
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. There was another woman who lived in a shoe. She didn't have no children. She knew what to do. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs. And downstairs in his nightgown. Hey diddle diddle, the cat did a whiddle on the kitchen floor. The little dog laughed to see such fun, so the cat did a little bit more. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack come under the candle wick.
You might wonder what this collection of materials is about. What is the significance of 3 books of Edward Muybridge's photographs? Bottles of bleach and washing up liquid, a CD, a light box with colour transparencies, sellotape, frisk film. Why do we need a compressor, airbrush, knives, filters and polarising sheets? Well, they are all materials used in what I like to call my experimental movies. The first stage is to decide which colours you need to lay down first, depending on what you want to appear as you scratch. Then a mixture of black Indian ink and emulsion paint are painted over the top, and then you can start to scratch with small scratches, and in between each of those to do 2 frames of film. And Vivaldi was made with a mixture of all these techniques, scratch techniques, polarising filters, coloured filters and little figures cut out of those. So here they are. And now for Mr. Muybridge. I was off work for about a month following a judging session in the Midlands, and one day Alan came round after work and said, look, now you've got all this time off, why don't you have a look at these books? They take a lot of looking at. And it was the 3 books of Edward Muybridge. As I looked through the books, I noticed there was a horse called Smith that was very beautiful, and I just thought that his movement looked as though it would be good, and I thought I would make it into a film. I think I must have had a brainstorm, and I started drawing the horses using 2 colours of ink, actually white and another colour, and drawing the top half of the horse with 1 colour and bottom half with another, and just let the colours run. And it was amazing. It was just so exciting seeing the colours.
A couple of years ago, late at night, I was driving Val back from a film show that we'd given. Suddenly, in the dark, came her voice. She said, "I've been lucky in my life. I've done a lot of things, I've achieved a lot of things, I've met a lot of good and very interesting people, and I've been to a lot of fantastic places." There's not a lot you can say to that, but I knew that she had been obviously thinking about the last part of her life. After a while, I said, "If you can feel that, Val, that's more than many people. It means it's been worth it."
You have reached the telephone ordering line of happydays.com. Your call may be monitored for training purposes. Please choose from the following options. To speak to one of our advisors, please press 1. To order one of our products, press 2. And to order marijuana, please press the hash key.
Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again.